Hello everyone, this is going to be my attempt of doing a what I watched this month, every month of this year. As you can see, this is not on time, it's already February, and that's because I just didn't notice the month was over, so that's on me. I will try not to do that next times. For that reason also, this would be maybe more rushed and less thought through than the others would. And also, I can't promise you I will do it every single month because I honestly don't know what this year has to offer me, in a good way. In any case, I do have a letterboxd. I'll put it in the description below where you can see all my reviews and stuff like that. So that would be awesome if you go check me out there. And that's it. Let's get to it. The movie that I started my entire year with was The Good Nurse, which is a movie on Netflix based on the true story of the serial killer Charles Cullen, who was a nurse, and Amy Loghorn, a fellow nurse of him, who helped catch him. It's nothing special, but it's kind of interesting if you're interested in true crime like I am, but as a movie it's not great. Not bad, but just not great. Just mediocre. I do love Eddie Redmayne and Jessica Chastain, who both give good performances, but other than that, it's really nothing special. There isn't really anything else I have to say about it. FYI, I also know there's a documentary about the subject, also on Netflix, called Capturing the Killer Nurse, which I haven't seen, but just if you want to watch it, you can. I rewatched Shrek 2 with my younger brother, and it was so fun. It's really charming to see how good this movie actually is. Like, it's really good. Everything is paced well and builds up to the iconic I Need a Hero finale. All the characters, new and reoccurring, are incredible, and the character development is so nice to see. It's funny and memorable, and if somehow you have never seen it, you really need to. Best Shrek movie, period. I heard a lot of great things about Barbarian, and honestly, I was disappointed. Don't get me wrong, first half of the movie, I was terrified. But then they showed the monster, which always lessens the fear, and also they completely changed the POV of the story. The POV change was not as jarring to me as I've seen it was for other people, but it was jarring nonetheless. I was really scared again for a bit, and then they showed everything and I was more grossed out than anything. I guess you can never really live up to the expectations you build for a horror movie because eventually the story has to amount to something. It can't just be an hour and a half of aimlessly walking around a dark, sketchy basement, never really showing anything actually happen. And like, the story behind the monster and how it became is terrifying in another sense, and if you've seen the movie you know what I mean by that, but I don't know, just something didn't really click for me with this one. I wasn't planning on watching this movie, but then I went alone in a whim because I just felt like watching a movie, which, by the way, I 1000% recommend going to movies alone and spontaneously, because you never know. You might just stumble upon a wonderful, delightful, exciting, emotional, incredible film like The Fabelmans. I love this movie, and I love movies in general, and I miss making them. I know you probably heard this about this movie, but this is a love letter to film and filmmakers, while also being the portrait of a family with broken dynamics and so much passion, to each their own. It's really comforting to watch, and even if you're not into films, I think you'd enjoy this movie because at its core, it's a coming-of-age story, and who doesn't love a good coming-of-age story? Also, this might have my favorite final shot ever. I am so late for this train, but oh my god, this movie is gorgeous in all the ways. I'm going to be honest with you, I did not know it was about lesbians when I went into it, but the tension between Eloise and Marianne was undeniable from the very first glances they exchanged, which is one of my favorite shots in the movie. Marianne studying Eloise's features, carving them in her memory to then paint them and try to reflect the true Eloise on the canvas is such an intimate ritual, while on the other side, Eloise watching Marianne observing her with such attention is so attractive, no wonder they fell in love. Could be also because they're both stunning, but this is a devastating film about forbidden love, and all the beauty of these two lovers and the pastoral scenery that they're in are wrapped in tragedy, which in itself is beautiful. I cannot say the name of this movie for the life of me, but Puss in Boots is indeed as good as they say. First of all is the animation, which reminded me a bit of the Into the Spider-Verse style, which is the biggest compliment for an animated film ever. And then the story is just pure and simple fun, such an easy and refreshing watch. I think The Whale is overhyped. I came in expecting a lot, which honestly you should never do, that's on me, but it did happen, and I was disappointed. It felt so long and repetitive. There's an obvious metaphor and analogy that they keep drilling into our brains, and then some interesting story bits that they didn't really explore as much. Brendan Fraser and Hang Chow were good, but Sadie Sink, and this is controversial, was just angsty Sadie Sink. I don't feel like she is the incredible actress everyone makes her to be. In my opinion, she swallows the characters she plays instead of the other way around. But nonetheless, I did get emotional in some parts, and I see the potential in this story, but this was just average. I don't have much to say about All Quiet on the Western Front. I didn't like it as much as other people, but it still does an incredible job at showcasing how war is all about greed and there are no winners, only losers, but I don't know, I just didn't like it a whole lot. Another rewatch on this list is Shithouse, which is the earlier work of Cooper Raiff, who also did Cha-Cha Real Smooth, which is more known. I am so amazed by how this 25-year-old, who was 22 at the time, which is almost my age, can portray all these human emotions in his films. I've never been to college, and I never will be, but it's still the most relatable college movie I've ever seen. All the awkwardness, charming young love, interesting family dynamics, and three-dimensional characters all around. I'm actually so jealous that he can do that. I love when movies make me chuckle a whole bunch but also hit hard with emotions, and this is exactly that type of movie. I feel like anyone who's ever been in any new social situation can relate to the characters, and it's just so good. I really, really recommend it. Last but not least is The Last of Us, which is not a movie, it's an HBO series based on the game by the same name, and I 1000% recommend it, even if you know nothing about it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but just a little background. It's a post-apocalyptic zombie situation, and that's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know, and if you don't, you're in luck because there are already 3 or 4 episodes to watch when this video comes out. And it's really great, well made, well acted, intriguing, and from what I understand, it's also a great adaptation. I was hooked, I was sold from the very first episode. It's a weekly job, about an hour average per episode, with an already confirmed season 2, so bless yourself with this watch. Also, please don't spoil anything for me too. I also know barely nothing about the game, so I'll appreciate that. And Pedro Pascal is indeed our daddy. Thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next month. Bye! Wow, that's a tongue twister.